to you and welcome to the live proceedings of the National Assembly this afternoon. This is the afternoon of the first day of October, the year being 2025, and we are glad to bring you this live broadcast. And this is made possible through the partnership between the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. In the highlights in the order of business this afternoon is the consideration of the fifth report on examination of financial statements of selected state corporations. This motion is by the Chairperson Public Investment Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture, Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe, and Assembly will be adopting, or the mover of this motion will be seeking to have the National Assembly adopt the fifth report of his committee. This is the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture, on its examination of financial statements of state corporations, namely the National Social Security Fund, the Kenya Maritime and Fisheries Research Institute, the National Hospital Insurance Fund, and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. The debate on this motion was already concluded upon for the better part of last evening. And what remains is for the question to be put. Remember, during the debate, our dear viewers, members of Parliament, delved deeply into the findings by the committee, with some recommending that some of the state corporation bosses who have aided loss of public monies be prosecuted. According to the members of Parliament, the House cannot just sit watching as the public resources is diverted for selfish interests. And some members of Parliament also urged the committees, these critical committees being the audit committees, to not only just provide reports, but equally provide or recommend stern warnings that should be taken against the culprits. Let's now move to other matters before the National Assembly this afternoon, where the House will be considering the seventh report on examination of financial statements on against selected state corporations. The consideration report on the examination of financial statements for Water Sector Trust Fund is also lined up for consideration this afternoon. And the other motion is the consideration of the sixth report on examination of financial statements for selected state corporations, this being a different cluster of state corporations from the one I mentioned, and this one include the Agricultural and Food Company Limited, the Kenya Animal Genetic Resources Center, the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. This is among the report that members have taken keen interest, and the Public Benefit Organization Regulatory Authority, formerly known as NGO Coordination Board. So the debate on these three motions has already been dispensed with, and what remains is for question to be put for members of the National Assembly to agree with the finding of the committee, which is in form of the reports tabled before the House. But away from that, the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 12 of the year 2024 by the leader of the majority party is lined up for consideration this afternoon. We will be having members of Parliament at the National Assembly debating the various amendments proposed to the Intergovernmental Relations Bill, this being a bill originating from the Senate. The consideration of sessional paper number 2 of the year 2025 on privatization of the Kenya Pipeline Company, KPC, is coming up for resumption of debate this afternoon. The Chairperson, Joint Committee on Consideration of Sessional Paper on Privatization of Kenya Pipeline, will be seeking to have the National Assembly adopt the report of his committee on privatization of KPC, and that the House approves sessional paper number 2 of the year 2025 on privatization of KPC, and as well as makes resolution as contained in the schedule in the order paper in regards to the privatization of this entity. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Dr. Moses Wetangula, is in the chambers this afternoon. He is the Speaker who will be presiding over the business of the National Assembly beginning now. So kindly allow me to hand you for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing.
Waheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umetoa nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, tukusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tukuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikisha mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu, na wale ambao hajasawa msikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Honorable members, well done today. We are starting the House with quorum. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Members on their feet, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I have a petition regarding recategorization of Savo East and Savo West National Parks. Honorable members, Article 119 of the Constitution accords any person the right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority. Further, Standing Order 2252B requires the Speaker to report to the House any petition other than those presented by a member. In this regard, honorable members, I wish to report to the House that my office has received a petition from the Speaker of the County Assembly of Taita Taveta, Honorable Anzeli Mwadime of P.O. Box 1142-80304 Undanyi, calling for classification of the Savo East and Savo West National Parks as national reserves. The petitioner states that the 11th schedule to the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act categorizes the Savo East National Park and Savo West National Park as national parks with total coverage of 11,747 square kilometers and 9,065 square kilometers, respectively. Honorable members, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Taita Taveta avers that the current categorization of the two national parks denies the county government of Taita Taveta the opportunity to protect and maintain the biological diversity and its associated resources. The petitioner claims that the current classification of the two national parks is discriminatory to the people of Taita Taveta and contrary to the provisions of Article 27 of the Constitution, as other counties collect revenues from their established national reserves. Honorable members, the petition asserts that Taita Taveta County is eager to harness the resources within the Savo region, excluding wildlife, whose management and protection it is willing to leave under the exclusive mandate of the Kenya Wildlife Service. Additionally, the county expresses readiness to develop policies and strategies aimed at enhancing the management and revenue generation from the parks. The Speaker of the County Assembly further vows that the current categorization of the national parks has not allowed the county government of Taita Taveta to benefit from the revenue share collected by the Kenya Wildlife Services, KWS. Honourable members, in light of the foregoing, the petitioner seeks the intervention of the National Assembly to amend the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act by recategorizing national parks and national reserves in the 11th schedule of the Act so as to enhance conservation efforts. Honourable members, having established that the matter raised in the petition is well within the authority of this House and are not pending before any court of law, constitutional or legal body, I hereby commit the petition to the Public Petitions Committee for consideration pursuant to Standing Order 208A. The committee is required to consider the petition and report its findings to the House and to the petitioner in accordance with the Standing Order 2272. I thank you. On the same note, Majority Leader, I've received about 3, 4, 5 letters from petitioners protesting the delay in finalizing and communicating the outcome of their petitions. Is Karemba in the House? Karemba, as the chairman of the Petitions Committee, Public Petitions Committee, I call you out and direct the Majority Leader to sit with you and furnish my office how many petitions are pending before your committee and how long they have been so pending and how soon you'll be able to clear them. I know you are new in the committee, but you should now change the manner in which you prosecute your work. Thank you. Mashako?
I wanted to indulge you, Mr. Speaker, sir, whether I can make a comment.
Yes, you can.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I want to say thank you to you for acceding to the request by the Taita Taveta Speaker, Acting Speaker, Honourable Anselim Chao, to table that petition to this House. I just want to make a short 2 minutes.
I didn't table the petition. I presented the petition.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you for presenting that petition on behalf of Taita Taveta. I want to say, Honourable Speaker, that this petition is at the heart of the people of Taita Taveta. We have been addressing this issue in many different forums, but this is the time, Honourable Speaker, that this House is now seized with this matter, that we are looking at an opportunity to have Savo East and Savo West managed by the County of Taita Taveta. This will address very heavy historical injustices that have happened. We know, Honourable Speaker, that other national game reserves, counties like Narok and Masai Mara, they are able to collect up to in excess of 3.6 billion shillings, money that goes to their people. But when it comes to Taita Taveta, Honourable Speaker, we have 62% of our land is under Savo. Yet we do not raise even a single shilling does not come to the people of Taita Taveta. So, Honourable Speaker, this matter is grave, this matter is serious, and we are saying that we know recently the President had proclaimed that we'll be getting 50% of that share of revenue, but I know the Line Ministry has not done anything so far. And he had also recommended that we get 40% of the employment to people of Taita Taveta. That has also not happened. So, Honourable Speaker, where we are left, where we are now is to demand that the Savo East, Savo West go back to a game reserve, so that now the whole of it becomes the asset of the people of Taita Taveta. We can raise our own revenue, we can do our own conservation and many other things. So, Honourable Speaker, I thank you for giving me this opportunity to comment on this matter.
Thank you. Karemba? Yes, Karemba?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the benefit of this House, Honourable Speaker, I wish to inform the House that the committee, as newly constituted, has moved with a lot of speed and has expedited on quite a number of reports. And only last week, Honourable Speaker, I was on the floor of the House and tabled up to about 5 reports. The progress is good, but Honourable Speaker, as you've directed, we will sit down with the Majority Leader and I will be able to update the House and you, Mr. Speaker, on the progress that we have made. But my assurance to this House and to you, Mr. Speaker, is that the newly constituted committee has very dedicated members, and the members will start seeing a lot of progress in the reports and in the petitions that they have presented to this House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Karemba. Please try and, citizens come to this House because they have trust in your ability to resolve their issues. And they come to this House because they don't want to go to court. They believe you can give them better justice. So do so. Yes, Bowen, 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity to say something about the petition. Mr. Speaker, I've had the petition from the Speaker of Taita Taveta County Assembly about the national parks and consideration of decasseting into game reserves or the national reserve. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask the Committee of Petition to look into that petition very carefully, Mr. Speaker, and if possible, if they can propose a legislation to this House, Honorable Speaker, so that we have a legislation which guides our national parks, because our national parks, Honorable Speaker, are our national treasures. And if you check, Mr. Speaker, that is where our source of revenue, especially from the tourism, comes from. So that, Mr. Speaker, we don't have the petition from the Taita Taveta County today, and next week we have another petition from another county hosting a national park, so that we have one policy, we have one legislation, Mr. Speaker, so that we don't need to decassette all our national parks to counties. Maybe you can check it into how the revenues from these national parks can be shared between the national government and the county governments, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Karemba, you process. Yes, is that Nabi? Yes, go ahead. 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to accord myself with what my colleague who has just been on the floor has said. But, Mr. Speaker, why you find this issue very critical at this time is that in some of the parks or some of the reserves, they contain minerals, and the resident communities are not benefiting from those minerals. So we require a policy, we require a legislation, we require a standard. The way you treat Mount Elgon should be the same way you will treat Taita Taveta, the same way you will treat Kakamega National Park, the same way you will treat another one in another part of the country. Otherwise, it becomes very, very unequitable. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Ndaza.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the same issue of the parks, as we speak, we lost somebody in Ganze constituency through the menace of elephants from the same Tsavo National Park. As members from Coast Parliamentary Group, we have been forced now to actually organize ourselves. We're in the process of having bows and arrows to go and chase those elephants because KWS has not been able to address that issue. We've raised it before. We've seen the minister, we've seen the CS, we've seen the PS. Now what is remaining is for us to go and physically deal with that menace. So the issue of the national parks just goes beyond the county government of Taita Taveta. It also spills over to Kwale, destroying farms, killing people, Kilifi, the same. So please, any honorable member who would want to join us on 18th, please, we have enough bows and arrows to deal with those elephants. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I hope you are aware that possession of bows and arrows is a criminal offense. Yes, Parajina?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also stand to support or maybe just to contribute a little bit about the petition. But, Mr. Speaker, it's good to understand that the issue that the serve on Taita Taveta County is petitioning on the issue of to do the revenue or what they get from the national park. Mr. Speaker, I also come from area with national park, that's Amboseli. Amboseli is there's a process of coming to be a game reserve managed by the county. Mr. Speaker, the only thing we need to check is that in the interest of the entire country, every area is totally checking and seeing that the collection that is being done or being obtained from the national government is not reaching the local communities and the county government. So we support that petition, but we need to look as legislature on what needs to be legislated. We need to see how can we check on the law governing the issue of parks, which are categorized as national park, and those one categorized as game reserve. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those of you who have issues, go to the petition committee and present them. Undanyi member, you have a petition to present? Mwashako?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My petition is regarding delivery of original marriage certificates to the Registrar of Marriages in Nairobi. Sorry, Honorable Speaker, I just got lost.
Mashako.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker.
If you have difficulties with technology, use hard copies.
Yes, regarding delivery of original marriage certificates to the Registrar of Marriages in Nairobi. I, the undersigned, on behalf of the licensed ministers of faith from Taita Taveta County, draw the attention of the House to the following. 1, that Article 45 of the Constitution of Kenya recognizes the family as the natural and fundamental unit of society, which must be recognized and protected by the state. In giving effect to this provision, Parliament enacted the Marriage Act 2014. That the Marriage Act 2014 recognizes the five systems of marriages, namely civil, Christian, Hindu, customary, and Islamic marriages. Section 50 of the Act establishes the Office of the Registrar of Marriages and empowers the registrar to appoint marriage officers at national and county levels. That on 3rd September 2004, the Registrar of Marriages published a notice in the National Daily newspaper directing licensed ministers of faith and gazetted marriage officers to comply with the new procedure for the submission of marriage certificate as provided under Section 53 and 57 of the Marriage Act, Cap 150. That the notice in part required that all licensed ministers of faith submit to the Registrar of Marriages in Nairobi all marriage certificates already conducted and in their custody within 30 days from the date of the notice. For marriages conducted from 1st September 2024 onwards, the marriage certificates and other relevant documentation be scanned, uploaded, and the original document delivered physically to Nairobi within 14 days of the celebration. And original marriage certificate to be delivered to the Registrar of Marriages in Nairobi within 14 days of the celebration of marriage. 5, that despite the constitutional requirement under Article 10(2) of the Constitution, which lists public participation as a natural value and principle of governance binding all state organs, state officers, and public officers when making or implementing policy, the licensed ministers of faith were never consulted on the new policy directive. That the implementation of the policy has placed an unnecessary administrative and financial burden on licensed ministers of faith, who now are compelled to travel to Nairobi to submit original marriage certificates, thereby making the officiating of marriages in religious settings unnecessarily costly and cumbersome. 7, that requiring the physical delivery of original marriage certificates from all counties to Nairobi undermines the constitutional principle of devolution and decentralization of services, and may deter prospective couples from exercising their civic right to marry. That further, the policy shift has led to congestion at the Registrar of Marriages Nairobi office, creating opportunities for unethical practices, including attempted bribery by individuals seeking to expedite service. That attempts by licensed ministers of faith to engage the relevant authorities for a review or reversal of this policy have not yielded any positive outcome to date. And that the issue raised in these petitions are not pending before any court of law, constitutional body, or any other legal institution. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, your humble petitioners pray that the National Assembly, through the Public Petitions Committee, one, recommends that the policy requiring licensed ministers of faith from all counties to physically deliver original marriage certificate to the Registrar of Marriages in Nairobi be revoked. Two, recommends that the licensed ministers of faith be allowed to submit original marriage certificate to the Registrar of Marriages within their respective counties, with county officers bearing the responsibility of forwarding the documents to Nairobi, and make any other recommendation it may deem appropriate to address the plight of the petitioners. And your petitioners will ever pray, presented on their behalf by myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Karemba, within 60 days, you bring the findings of your committee. Furnish with the petitioner, bring to the House. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Actually, this is the first day of the month of October, Honorable Speaker. So celebrate. The year is ending. Afternoon sitting. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2025, and certificates therein in respect of 1. Kenya Accreditation Service, 2. Central Bank of Kenya, 3. Microfinance Sector Support Credit Project, credit number CKE 300401E and CKE 601001E, the National Treasury, and 4. Coordinate implementation of the Population Policy and ICPD 25 Commitments Project, National Council for Population and Development. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Thank you. Before the next order, allow me, members, to acknowledge in the Speaker's Gallery Gathuthuma Junior School from Kirinyaga, Central Kirinyaga, Kamwiru Junior School from Kirinyaga, Central Kirinyaga, Nandi Students Association from Chesumei, Nandi. In the public gallery, we have Sunrise School from Embakasi Central, Nairobi, and Chulungwa School from Mwingi Central, Kitui. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House. I've been asked by Honorable Mulyungi, 1 minute. You can welcome your students and the rest of the students on our behalf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to add my voice to welcome all the students who are here in this House to Parliament. Further, Mr. Speaker, I want to welcome my own school, Kilungwa Primary School, in my constituency, Mwingi Central constituency. Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage the students who are here to aspire to one day sit in this House and in future serve in very senior positions in this country. I wish you journey mercies as you go back home and pass our regards to your parents. Thank you.
Gitari, 1 minute. Give Honorable Gitari the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance, and I want to join the rest of you who are welcoming this student. I want to welcome specifically the students from Kamwiro Primary School, where I studied, Mr. Speaker, and the Gadodoma Junior School, which is a few meters from Kamwiro JSS. And I want to tell them, as I always tell students, they must consider themselves very lucky because, Mr. Speaker, the first time I came to Parliament is when I was elected. But they are coming to Parliament when they are in JSS. Karibuni sana, and I thank you. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we have a supplementary order paper on your gadgets and in the table office. And I'll direct the reorganization of business as follows. Order number 7, questions and statements will come after disposal of orders number 8, number 9, number 10, and number 13. So note accordingly. Call out the next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Naisula.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 33-1, I seek leave for the adjournment of the House for purposes of discussing a definite matter of urgent national importance regarding the alarming rise in cases of femicide and gender-based violence in the country. Honorable Speaker, in the recent months, there has been a disturbing surge in brutal killings and abuse of women and children. This worrying trend has been evidenced by several horrific incidences across the country. For example, in September 2025, a young woman in Narrow County was abducted and assaulted by her relatives for allegedly going against the wishes of the family in relation to her choice of marriage partner. Similarly, in July 2025, a 16-year-old secondary school student in Kakamega County was defiled by her teacher, highlighting the vulnerability of children within learning institutions. Alarmingly, cases of children being killed by close relatives have also been reported in the recent past. For instance, an 11-year-old child from Bomet County was killed by his father following a domestic disagreement, while in Tana River, 4 children were allegedly buried alive by their father as a form of punishment. Honorable Speaker, despite widespread advocacy against these heinous acts, the justice system, including the judiciary, the National Police Service, and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, has failed in protecting victims and ensuring accountability. Specifically, there have been reports on mishandling of evidence on victims of gender-based violence, which has contributed to a culture of impunity where perpetrators act without fear of repercussions. There is therefore need for concerted efforts by all stakeholders, including the relevant government agencies, non-governmental organizations, and the civil society in supporting victims and raise awareness. Additionally, there is need to safeguard the right endangered by child marriages, which is a violation of human rights. Regrettably, the Directorate of Children's Services is yet to establish offices in all constituencies, resulting in delays in monitoring incidences and safeguarding children from all forms of exploitation. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek leave for the adjournment of the House to discuss this matter of great national concern with a view of exploring possible lasting solutions. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Do you have supporters? Thank you. You may take your seats. The support is overwhelming. And Naisula, I'll allocate you to move your motion at 6 or after order number 14, whichever comes earlier. If order number 14 is disposed of at 5, you'll be on standby to move your motion. But at 6, the House will curtail business to give you an opportunity, and the motion will be debated for 1 hour. Next.
Order number 8, motion. Consideration of the 5th report on examination of financial statements of selected state corporations. Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Well, honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the 5th report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its examination of financial statements of the following state corporations laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th August 2025. 1. National Social Security Fund, financial year 2020-2021. Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute for financial year 2019-2020 to 2020-2021. 3. National Hospital Insurance Fund for year 2018-2019 to 2020-2021. And the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation financial year 2013-2014 to 2018-2019. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the 6th report on examination of financial statements of selected state corporations. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 9, which is that this House adopts the 6th report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its examination of financial statements of the following state corporations laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 5th August 2025. 1. Agrochemical and Food Company Limited for financial year 2015-2016 to 2016-2017. 2. Kenya Animal Genetic Resources Center for financial year 2011-2012 to 2017-2018. 3. Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital for financial year 2015-2016 to 2016-2017. And 4. Public Benefit Organization Regulatory Authority, formerly NGO Coordination Board, for financial year 1992-93 to 2006-2007. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next.
Order number 10, motion. Consideration of the report on the examination of financial statements for the Water Sector Trust Fund. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 10, which is that this House adopts the report of the Special Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the audited accounts for the Water Sector Trust Fund for the financial years 2018-2019 to 2022-2023, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 29th July 2025. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Shuria and your colleague, you are disorderly. Next.
Order number 13, motion. Consideration of the session of paper number 2 of 2025 on the privatization of Kenya Pipeline Company. Resumption of debate.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this motion on consideration of the session of paper on the IPO of the Kenya Pipeline Company that was moved by the chair of the Privatization Committee just before the short recess, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, a lot had been said of this proposed privatization, and what we would consider is not the privatization process per se, but the sessional paper that proposes
to privatize through an initial public offering of the Kenya Pipeline Company. And indeed, as I was said by the chair and the second of this motion, Honorable Gikaria, Kenya Pipeline remains a very critical and strategic investment by the Kenyan people over the years. Honorable Speaker, just like we have done with other critical and strategic investments over the past years, and case in point being KenGen, KPLC, KCB, Safaricom, we have enhanced corporate governance in state corporations by privatizing them through initial public offerings. Because unlike situations where you bring in strategic investors, initial public offerings offers everybody an opportunity to be able to invest in these companies, and therefore in a big way enhances corporate governance in the management of those companies. And as the chair said, and as you note from the report that was tabled before this House in their consideration of the sessional paper, that one of the key objectives is to inject new corporate governance in the Kenya Pipeline Company Limited, Honorable Speaker, not only to enhance efficiency in the operations of the company, but also to increase its profitability. The sessional paper proposes, Honorable Speaker, to privatize 65% of the government shareholding in Kenya Pipeline, and the government will be left with a strategic 35%. And therefore, we will still maintain control, because there's no investor that will come in and take up the entire 65%. That's why I was drawing the difference between bringing a strategic investor. You probably bring in a strategic investor who will take up 65%, and therefore effectively they'll have control over that company. But in this case of an initial public offering, Kenya Pipeline will largely still be, the majority shareholder will continue to be the government of Kenya, even as we allow other people, including ourselves, Honorable Speaker. And probably it is high time I invited all of you and Kenyans to start saving in preparation of buying shares in this company. And I can tell you, as an investor in the stock exchange market, this will be and is a very good buy. If you look at our economy, Honorable Speaker, a lot of macro and fiscal changes have been undertaken in the last 3 or 4 years. And we have started reaping the benefits of some of these macro and fiscal interventions that have been done. And, Honorable Speaker, you look at inflation, you look at our exchange rate, things are stabilizing. If you went through, for those who cared to read the public participation report of the finance bill this year, 2025-2026, one of the critical things that Kenyans spoke to very loudly, and something that we have always said here, as members of parliament and those who appear on TV stations as they articulate their issues, is that government must introduce new innovative ways of funding both the provision of infrastructure and service delivery to Kenyans. And largely over the years, Honorable Speaker, we have depended largely on taxes that we raise, and Kenyans, during the public participation of the finance bill, loudly told us, and it is there in the report that was tabled before this House by the Finance Committee, that we must innovate new ways of financing our infrastructure and service delivery by government. And top among those innovative ways is to release part of the shareholding in some of these profitable and strategic investments that government has held shares over the years. And this is exactly what the National Treasury has proposed to do. And when the committee considered this report, Honorable Speaker, I know there were many concerns that Kenyans had raised. And many of those concerns, if you look at the report that the committee tabled, they have since addressed all those concerns, Honorable Speaker. And if you look at the recommendations of the committee, they have said that they are asking us to approve the privatization of 65% of Kenya Pipeline through an IPO, and to implement an employee share ownership plan. Because part of the concerns were by employees of Kenya Pipeline. Will they now lose value even as employees? Are there people who will lose jobs? And we are telling the Kenya Pipeline employees, many years ago when KenGen was privatized, or KCB, or Safaricom, the Safaricom of before privatization was a very small company, employing very few people. The Safaricom of today, having gone through privatization, is a behemoth of an organization that is serving not just Kenyans, but also Africans in this region and many people around the world. Safaricom through M-Pesa has become a hallmark around the world. And many countries are having to copy the innovations and technology that has come from Safaricom. And this is what comes with enhanced corporate governance when you privatize an institution like we are proposing. And therefore, the share ownership plan that the committee, which I support, Honorable Speaker, will ensure that employees of Kenya Pipeline not only maintain their jobs, but Kenya Pipeline, through enhanced corporate governance, will be able to grow into a company that even employs more Kenyans. And Kenyans all over are looking for jobs, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, the right thing we can do for this country is to allow the National Treasury to privatize this company, enhance corporate governance, create more wealth out of this company, and be able to employ more Kenyans. They have also said that we must ensure very transparent valuation of the company, and I fully concur and agree. And indeed, without preempting debate, Honorable Speaker, under order number 12 or 13, Honorable Speaker, there is a privatization bill that is also lined up for debate by this House. And if you go through that privatization bill, the issue of valuation of companies that are listed for privatization, either by whichever mode, whether it is IPO, whether it is bringing in strategic investors, the question of valuation is a key consideration, and therefore even this will be no exception, and it will be done that way. Honorable Speaker, there is a very strong and very deep intrinsic link between the growth of an economy and the growth of the equity markets or the capital markets. And our capital markets today, Honorable Speaker, are doing exceptionally well. The Nairobi Stock Exchange is doing exceptionally well, and therefore the economy as it grows must grow in tandem with the way the capital markets are performing. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, because I see my time is over, I just want to implore the members, let us support this proposal, because it is good for this country. It is us who will benefit more than anybody else from this IPO, because it seeks to raise about 100 billion shillings that I see the committee is proposing that the proceeds primarily should go to settle domestic arrears. These domestic arrears relate to contracts that have been awarded in our constituencies for roads, relate to contracts that we are awarding under our NGCDF and GAF contracts, and therefore this money will come to benefit not just our economy, but also our constituents, Honorable Speaker, even as we grow our economy as the capital markets grow, Honorable Speaker. And there is no better time. There is no better time to invest in the capital markets than now. Listen to me. There is no better time to invest in the capital markets than now. If you have a shilling that you can save, save and wait when this IPO goes and buy these shares. And you will live to remember my advice today, Honorable Speaker, because I have a colleague here who I advised to buy some shares of a bank a few months ago, and they told me you are wasting your money. And now, as I smile all the way to the bank, they are always on my door asking me for for something. Therefore, please, nobody should come asking anybody for anything. If you have money to save, save and invest in this IPO. This IPO will be the best welfare you can bequeath to your children and the people of Kenya. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support and ask all of you to indeed support this session of paper to allow us to be able to progress and move on and even be able to raise money for the budget process. The budget that we passed here that factored in these 100 billion shillings, and I project this money will be more than 100 billion. In my own estimation, I can foresee a figure of 150 to 200 billion. What better reward can we give to the Kenyan people than raise 150 to 200 billion for them over Christmas? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to support.
Thank you, Majority Leader, for those very clear contributions. Honorable members, allow me to welcome a group of students who are on a visit of the House of Parliament. They are seated at the Speaker's Gallery. This is Metkei Girls High School from Keio, South Elgeyo Marakwet County. This is a group of 6 top performing students from that school and from that county. They are indeed welcome to the House of Parliament to observe the proceedings during their learning tour. The Honorable The Honorable Benjamin Lagat. Honorable Ngeleche is around. Or somebody is blocking my view from Honorable Ngeleche. Welcome the 6 top performing students from Elgeyo Marakwet, and of course also welcome the other students visiting. These are students from Metkei Girls High School.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been trying to look around if I can see them. I think maybe they left or they are yet to come in. Ah, they are there. Because I just wanted them to stand. They didn't stand when you were mentioning them. I want to welcome the girls, the beautiful girls from Metkei Girls. And as you said, Mr. Speaker, they are the top performing students. Mr. Speaker, Metkei Girls is the giant of Elgeyo Marakwet in terms of education. And whenever you see these girls, know that they are A+ material, Mr. Speaker. So I wish to welcome all of you here. Metkei Girls, sky is the limit, and you belong to this house or other better institutions in future. Mr. Speaker, this is the constituency whereby Gideon Kimayo comes from, and he actually met them before they came in, and I remained here just to welcome them. But Mr. Speaker, I want to say that we are proud of these girls because that is a school deep down in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage other girls in their absence from Elgeyo Marakwet County that it is possible to perform and to be top students. Also, Mr. Speaker, my extension to the other students in the chamber, welcome to the National Assembly. It is possible wherever you come from in the near future, if you work hard, if you concentrate with your studies, one day, one time, you can be able to represent your people in this house or even be the president of this Republic of Kenya. Thank you and welcome, Metkei Girls. We will see each other after this outside for a cup of tea. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ngeleche. The students are welcome to this house where we make laws, we oversight government, and we budget for the country. The Honorable Benjamin Lagat will now proceed.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the approval of...
We are not dealing with the privatization bill.
I am aware, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, proceed.
I am aware. Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this approval of a sessional paper on privatization of Kenya Pipeline, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the committee for the job well done. They have engaged the public and they have allayed the fears, Mr. Speaker, which the Wananchi heard. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I think we already have very good examples of successful companies which were privatized by government of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And as majority leader said, we have KCB, which is doing very well, Mr. Speaker. It is in the hands of Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, we have the biggest company called Safaricom, Mr. Speaker, which has done a lot of innovations when it was privatized, Mr. Speaker. So I would even say, once we privatize Kenya Pipeline, Mr. Speaker, there will even be more innovations, there will be more services, and the company will grow, Mr. Speaker, to a level that will employ thousands and thousands of Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, they say it is not a business of government to do business. So the more the government releases companies that do business, Mr. Speaker, the more it can be able to focus on delivery of services, Mr. Speaker. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, I want to speak about the proceeds from this privatization, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as and when it comes, it should go into a service delivery for Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, water services, Mr. Speaker. So I strongly support the approval of this privatization, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, I support.
The Honorable CPA Julius Ruto.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I want to rise to support this particular motion on discussion of privatization of Kenya Pipeline. And speaking from the point of my professional understanding and undertaking, Mr. Speaker, governments of the day, like any other persons who can own assets in his own capacity, has got a right at any given time to exercise his own assets and property. Most of these government assets that we have in Kenya were placed there or were established using taxpayers' money. Of course, it has been serving the purpose and the intended purpose it was meant for. Some of them was to provide services or to compete the private sector in the sense that the citizens would be able to derive services and supply of goods in a reasonable, favorable price. Some of them were established for regulatory purpose, and some of them were established for the purpose of ensuring that the critical services that cannot be provided elsewhere could still be provided for. What is being discussed here is very fundamental because, Mr. Speaker, as we talk now as a country, Kenya as a sovereign, we have a responsibility to manage our fiscal space. It is from that fiscal responsibility or framework, Mr. Speaker, that the country is planned, the country is developed. The country expenditure is able to be measured, to be forecasted, and to be predicted. Where we are now, looking at the level of debt liability, debt services that we have to service. If you look at our budget structure, Mr. Speaker, one of the components that is critical there is the consolidated fund service, where at the moment we are doing more than $1 trillion. It's almost 1.2 trillion. These are the money that are given first charge whenever the budget is being expended. Whether we collect nothing or whatever we collect, when you sit down as a CS or a cabinet secretary to plan the expenditure, the law mandates or commands that the first charge will be to dispense the liability on the debt. What we are talking about now, Mr. Speaker, what we're discussing now in this particular scenario is a way that we want to relieve our fiscal framework that is choked, that has been stressed, that has been oppressed, allow me to use that word, because of the obligations that are maturing day in, day out. These are most of the debts that were taken way back. Development of it has already been dispensed upon. Whether they are still alive or they have died, they have already been dispensed upon. But since it is important and it's an obligation, it is imminent for any government to deduce and to look for resources to discharge that liability. So this government has that responsibility. When now it comes to a point of looking for resources, we've borrowed enough. We even struggle to borrow. Sometimes we struggle even to meet some necessary conditions to get the space to borrow because we cannot raise our taxes looking at the way our economy is. And whenever we want to raise, looking from the VAT, looking from the income tax, it's only on timely basis or periodical basis that we're able to cover part of our budget. So what is available now is either you borrow. And if you don't borrow, what do you have? Dispose what you have to relieve yourself, have something to spend. Like any farmer who rears cattle, I'm sure there are nomads here, there are cattle keepers here, like Makelap and the rest. So when it gets to a point you want to pay your school fees, who denies you to sell your cow to pay the school fees for your child? It is value for your child to go to school. And it is your responsibility. And the resources you have is your cows. So this government has got an agenda to do. It wants to pay off some debts. It wants to develop the country. And the asset it has within its disposal, it has a right to exercise them to generate the revenue. Number two, Mr. Speaker, there is something we cannot ignore. The aspect of transparency and inclusivity. Remember, this constitution has provided a mechanism for Kenyans to participate. And in this case, we want to allow Kenyans to own these primary and these prime companies. Look at the companies which went privatization, like Kenya Commercial Bank. Before that one, it was struggling. Today, as we talk, it is one of the multinational companies. You go to Tanzania, you go to Uganda, you get KCB, you go to South Sudan, you get Kenya Commercial Bank. Why? Because it was allowed to be managed and run in a private, in an entrepreneurial concept, other than in a public concept, which sometimes need not to be profit-making, but at times it is service, and it's defeated by the politics of the day. When it is privatized, the profitability aspect drives the agenda of the company, and it expands. Since my time is short, I want to support this agenda and say it is time for us, and I'm ready to buy shares. I'm really ready, like yesterday, to dispose what I have to acquire these shares. I'm very sure Kenya Pipeline will rise, and that share price will increase, and that is the wealth for me and for young people like us that we are coming up. Thank you so much, and I support.
The Majority Whip, the Honorable Silvanus Osoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to vehemently support this session of paper and congratulate the committee for a job well done. Honorable Speaker, much has been said about investment and matters to do with the stock exchange, Honorable Speaker. And I must, even as I speak and contribute, Honorable Speaker, I must really say that I am a living testimony of what such line of investment can do. Honorable Speaker, I was going through the statement sent by my stockbroker just yesterday, Honorable Speaker, and I must say that I was so impressed that something that I tried to guesswork, Honorable Speaker, just about 4 or 5 months ago, in the line of the KCB, in the line of Kenya Re, Honorable Speaker, and even in the line of Kenya Power, Honorable Speaker, the statement that I saw really mesmerized me, and it's about time, Honorable Speaker, that we think through this line of, I do not know why the member for Laikipia, Honorable Speaker, is so excited. I think she will be escorting me all the way to the bank. But all said and done, Honorable Speaker, there's different channels that government must raise funds. And one of it, Honorable Speaker, is to offer an opportunity for the masses to walk alongside with them, Honorable Speaker. They say that if you want to go fast, walk alone. But if you want to go far, walk with people. Honorable Speaker, many of these corporations that time immemorial, Honorable Speaker, have been left, by people or to people, just employees, Honorable Speaker, that just depend on the exchequer, on salaries and everything to run, who just pass time, Honorable Speaker, so that they can retire at 60 and go home and enjoy their pensions and everything. That is the reason why, Honorable Speaker, most of these private public corporations are not progressing. And look at this session of paper, Honorable Speaker. What it is advising, Honorable Speaker, is that you offer Kenyans an opportunity, just like it was offered, Honorable Speaker, back in 2009. You remember, Honorable Speaker, about 2009 when Kenyans queued, along Nation Center, Honorable Speaker, to buy or to purchase, Honorable Speaker, the Safaricom shares, then were about 5 shillings. Kenyans were all over saying, we want to protect this monster, Honorable Speaker. And it became humongous over time, Honorable Speaker, when people really invested in it. So it's about time that Kenyans take some of these proposals positively. And even the members that are watching us here, Honorable Speaker, because sometimes people, you hear people say, so-and-so owns shares from this particular company, it becomes the biggest shareholder, so-and-so has invested this. Honorable Speaker, it is a gradual growth that you have been offered an opportunity. Today, the share goes at 3 shillings, for example, if it is Kenya Re. Tomorrow, you get it, Honorable Speaker, appreciating it to 11 shillings. The next day, you find it appreciating to 25 shillings. All that, number one, helps grow your financial strength and also helps raise money for the government or for that state corporation. And it will never fall because there are so many eyes, Honorable Speaker, that are watching. And that is why it is about time that Kenyans embrace this kind of line, number one, of investment, and number two, of raising capital for the state corporations, Honorable Speaker. I do not know why, actually, we're even belaboring the point. We should all support this session of paper. We support this privatization. We support this opportunity to invest so that we can all move together as a country and help the country and help ourselves to grow. Honorable Speaker, I invite the Honorable Jane Kagiri to help me, to move with me so that we can smile all the way to the bank out of the statement that I got from my stockbroker yesterday, Honorable Speaker, in regard to the opportunity that I got about 5 months ago. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Owen Bayer, who is the Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, during the Kibaki years, the early Kibaki years, when the issue of IPOs started hitting this country, that's when proper economic growth, Honorable Speaker, started. The IPO for KCB, the IPO for Safaricom, the IPO for KenGen, and many IPOs, Honorable Speaker, came in. And Honorable Speaker, I want to tell this House that this country raised a lot of money. There were very many IPOs that were actually oversubscribed. And people wondered where this money came from. But Honorable Speaker, it is this money that watered the economic growth that started during that time of Kibaki, Honorable Speaker. Having an IPO like this, the initial public offer of Kenya Pipeline, Honorable Speaker, is a good thing for this country. Mr. Speaker, while I appreciate my leader, the leader of majority, he has to consult, but you can ask him to allow his deputy
order
to speak to the nation.
The members who are consulting by the bar, please take your seats.
Yes, thank you. So, Honorable Speaker, for this country to move forward, we have to offload these many corporations that are taking a lot of our money from the taxpayers. And, Honorable Speaker, they are producing very little. And therefore, it is very important that we start the privatization process. And the best place to start, Honorable Speaker, is this pipeline, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have for many years said that we are raiding people's payslips. We are raising taxes. They are very high in this country, Honorable Speaker. But, Honorable Speaker, we have to find an innovative way of raising capital and of raising resources to build this country, certain infrastructure that we must have. And one of the ways, Honorable Speaker, is the IPO. And looking at the amount of money, Honorable Speaker, that we are trying to raise for this IPO, Honorable Speaker, it is time that we allow this government to offload some shares out of Kenya Pipeline, Honorable Speaker, and therefore we use that money to ensure that we develop some of the things that we must have, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the proposal seeks to privatize up to 65% of the government's shareholding in KPC via an IPO with government retaining at least 35%. And I think that is fair, Honorable Speaker. Government will still hold KPC. They'll still have 35% share. Probably, Honorable Speaker, government will still be the highest shareholder within. And therefore, we are not losing KPC, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, like the Leader of Majority said, we budgeted for 100 billion shillings in the budget. If we do not raise this money, Honorable, we shall have a gap of 100 billion shillings, Honorable Speaker. And yet, our own asset, just like you, Honorable Speaker, when you have issues, in my language, we have a saying, Mutu wakolwa ni chakwe. Mutu wakolwa ni chakwe. Meaning, that which you have is which will save you at a time of need. That's what it means, Honorable Speaker. Government, yes. Now, he's telling me, the leader, that in his language, he says, mtu hushika mbuzi yake. Government has KPC, Honorable Speaker. It is this KPC, Honorable Speaker, that government must hold on at a time like this to raise funds, to raise capital, to raise resources, to take care of the many needs that we need. Honorable Speaker, you go out there, the Coast region, for example, does not have a level 6 hospital. A level 6 hospital. Where will we get money in bulk to build a level 6 hospital?
This is the entire coast.
The entire coast does not have a level 6 hospital that goes up to Northeastern. You understand, Honorable Speaker? Now, where will we get money to do this? Honorable Speaker, we need roads. Roads that will open up the economy of this country, Honorable. Where will get? Do we still want to go back to China to borrow money? Do we want to still deal with the rogue IMF, Honorable Speaker? Do we still want to deal? We have our own assets that we can dispose, get money, and allow Kenyans to own those assets. Honorable Speaker, when you hear people talk, it is as if this KPC is being given to other people. Kenyans will own this KPC. When it makes profit, the money will still come back to Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, it is with these many words, Honorable Speaker, that I support the privatization of KPC. It should be offloaded, Honorable Speaker, allow Kenyans to own it, and Honorable Speaker, we make progress as a country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Dr. Wilberforce Oundo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I want to be very clear from the onset, and I like what, since my colleagues are alluding to, what we are dealing here is a sessional paper. Our report on the sessional paper is not privatization proceedings in respect of privatization of Kenya Pipeline. I think people need to read. So when I hear already my colleagues jumping the gun, postulating, imagine how they build level 10 hospitals and the rest, it causes a lot of confusion. And that's why we lose the debate in a house like this. Owen Barr, being a seasoned member, should have told the country very clearly. This is a report of sessional paper that proposes. So, Honorable Speaker, number one, we need to go on record. Government has got no business in business. That is the position all over the world. Government has no business in a business. Number two, privatization to unlock value is a good idea all over the world. Number three, we have had privatization process in this country that have ended well, but some have ended up very badly. And one of them is the Webuye Pan paper, where the company was sold for song by some powerful people, went and ripped off its assets and walked away. We have even a case of KCC that was sold, and it took the intervention of President Mwai Kibaki to buy it back. Honorable Speaker, another classical case of failure is being authored here today. Another classical case of plunder and theft is being authored here today. Honorable Speaker, in policy number 7, we are told there is some amorphous people who claim money out of Kenya Pipeline. We have not been told who are they, how it occurred, and what remedy was taken to punish those who oversaw the plan of these resources. You are told they're spending lawsuits amounting to 5.7 billion. Your guess is good as mine. Who are the claimants? Who are the lawyers? And who are the brokers in this matter? And who are the judges going to be bribed so that they can pass judgment early enough so that when the billions come, their first charge, they are paid. Honorable Speaker, secondly, we are being told the Zakem case. All of us who have been here know the Zakem case. They know who authored the Zakem scandal. They are walking scot-free in this country. None of them has ever been brought to book. We are selling, stripping public assets to pay crooks who are already in bed by people who are in government at the moment. Honorable Speaker, we are told the number D, potential of loss of public funds amounting to 192 billion. Yet whoever perpetuated this, we have not been told where they are. Honorable Speaker, to sell an asset, to pay pending bills, which have not even been verified, which have been accumulated deliberately, is foolhardy. For how long will you keep on selling assets to pay pending bills and loans we accumulate every day to do non-productive activities? Honorable Speaker, and then the fear, the monopoly and the oligopoly that will come into this. Honorable Speaker, the principle might be good, but the foundation, the principles, the grounds for this privatization is all crooked process, Honorable Speaker. All crooked, all skewed to benefit a few people and leave the Kenyan people poorer than they were. And unfortunately, I stand to oppose. The rest can do whatever they want. I just want to go on record that it has been known there has been a sober voice who stood for the people of Kenya. Thank you.
As the Honorable Dr. James Nyikal. No, there is also ethnic and regional balance in Parliament. Let Honorable Nyikal speak.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support this with extreme caution. The principle of selling assets and making them private so that they are run in a private way and not by government is good. However, in our circumstances, if you look at a summary of the sessional paper that is put, that actually attached to the order, to the supplementary order paper, the whole thing is actually going to rely on what the Commission of Privatization does. There are a lot of questions that has been put what it should do. If you take number 7 that Honorable Ondo has been talking about, if the Privatization Commission does not actually clearly say what he said in Part 7, the pending bills,
Some of them are actually lawsuits. So we may actually be getting money to pay lawyers and we do not know what these lawyers were defending. Some of them are in what is involved in this Zakem. We are not quite clear what really happened in those Zakem lawsuits. And if you look at what this summary says in 3, is that actually this is a strategic company. So if it works, it's fine. Should it not work, then it actually will be a disaster to the country. What does pipeline do? It is actually the transportation and the storage of oil. Oil is what the country actually runs on. In our transport system, if oil is not handled well, you are done. Whether you are transporting people, whether you are transporting goods. The next is industry. If we don't manage this issue well, and the transportation, the storage oil goes wrong, all our industries will literally collapse. So another one is actually power. We still generate a lot of power using oil. So we are actually talking of the privatization of literally what we live on. And the whole thing is actually in the hands of the Privatization Commission. That is what this parliament is doing today, handing it what I will call the welfare of the country into the Privatization Commission. I don't see what we have put in place to actually protect us. So we'll believe that the commission that we have put in place will actually look after us. If it doesn't, you are in trouble. We have had problems before. Look at the Kenya Railways. Actually, maybe some of this is advice from maybe the World Bank and so on. We were advised to liquidate the properties of the Kenya Railways so that we could actually resuscitate it. It has taken years and years. It is now that we are trying. Some of us may not even realize that at one point, the Kenya Railways owned more property in this country than even the government itself. So I support this, but there's caution that we have to really look at it very carefully, what the commission does. But it needs to also need to know that it will make Kenya Pipeline run properly. What happened in, say, I'll take the example of the depot in Kisumu. The loading is so skewed that exporters actually can take so much time that the local retailers don't even have time to get the fuel that we need. So I agree, I support this, but this caution we must take into consideration, and the Privatization Commission must know what it is taking this country into. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mwengi Mutuse. Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, before you make your contributions, let me welcome students from Kithimani Primary School, Yatta constituency, Machakos County, who are in the National Assembly this afternoon in the public gallery to observe our proceedings. You're welcome to the House. What is the point of order?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to raise an standing order number 95, considering the immense contributions on this debate, and also the next agenda also talks about privatization. I wish to request that the mover is called to reply. Yes.
I will order, honorable members. I'm the one presiding over the House. I'm the one presiding over the House. Honorable Mwengi Mutuse will make his contribution, and at the end of his contribution, I'll put a question for a House decision on what has been raised by Honorable Marianne Keitany, because that is what our standing orders say. Yes, Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And if we may be heard in silence. Mr. Speaker, before I make my few points, allow me to disabuse some of the notions that have been put across by some of the colleagues that I respect a lot who have spoken before me. The very respected member, Dr. Aundo, seems to sensationalize this issue just because there has been cases in the past that have failed. And those sensationalism seems to stem from generalizations that are not particularly supported by the facts of the proposed privatization. Dr. Nikao, also a very respected colleague, with the caution to urge that you cannot also drive anticipating an accident. Mr. Speaker, as I say so, privatization is not a new phenomenon. It is not an invention of the broad-based government. It is not an invention of William Ruto. It began in 1992. And we have statutes, the Privatization Act, that speak to this, that have been legislated upon by this parliament. And like has been said before us, there are many cases of successful privatizations. And for that reason, and looking at the mood in the House, Mr. Speaker, I am in support of the point of order by Marianne Keitany, that because of many of the contributions appear to be similar in support, that, yes, I am with us. Yes, I am with us. So that if it pleases you, Mr. Speaker, that the mover may be called upon to reply and that we are given a chance to contribute in standing order number 14. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members. This decision is yours to make, not the Speaker's. Honorable Marianne Keitany, standing under standing order number 95, has requested that a question be put that the mover be called upon to reply, and I so do. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Yes, so mover. For those who wanted to talk to this matter, the next motion will be about the privatization bill, and we can elaborate more on those ideals. Yeah, mover, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to reply, and first allow me to extend my sincere appreciation to the House. Under your able leadership, I also wish to thank my co-chair, the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy, and indeed all the members of the two committees for the dedication and support they have demonstrated throughout the consideration of this report. Honorable Speaker, it's our expectation that the National Treasury will undertake the listing with the highest degree of transparency and integrity. We further urge that deliberate measures be put in place to ensure that ordinary Kenyans have the opportunity to participate in this IPO. These include effective marketing, accessible public communication, and affordable financing mechanism that empowers citizens to acquire shares. In this way, we will promote equitable ownership and ensure that the benefits of privatization are broadly shared across the nation. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Let those who need to take their seats do so. Honorable Soro, you will take your seat. You take your seat. I know the work you are doing is for the House, but now we take our seats and we make decision. Yeah, so, honorable members, I now put the question that this House adopts the joint report of the Departmental Committee on Energy and Select Committee on Public Debt and Privatization on the consideration of the sessional paper number 2 of 2025 on the proposed privatization of Kenya Pipeline Corporation Company Limited, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 14th August 2025, and 1, approves sessional paper number 2 of 2025 on the privatization of Kenya Pipeline Company Limited, and 2, makes policy resolution as contained in the schedule to the order paper. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. So would the majority leader approach the speaker? Yeah, call order number 14. Next order.
Order number 14, the privatization bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2025, second reading.
Mover. The leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the privatization bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2025, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, by way of introduction, it's important to note that this is a very critical legislation or legislative initiative that presents a very conscious recalibration of our approach as a nation to the privatization of state-owned enterprises. Honorable Speaker, as you correctly alluded to, even the order that we have just concluded on order number 13, those who have not had the opportunity to contribute under this bill is also an opportunity to say what we may have to say about the privatization of state-owned enterprises. This bill is a direct response to constitutional and public governance imperatives and reflects lessons that we have learned from recent judicial determinations concerning the previous legal framework, Honorable Speaker, because as members, you remember, we did pass the Privatization Act of 2023, and Honorable Speaker, the Privatization Act of 2023, which intended to replace the older Privatization Act of 2005. And when we intended to modernize our privatization process, the act was challenged immediately. We passed it in court by a judgment that was delivered on September 24, 2024, in the case of Katiba Institute and others versus the Speaker of the National Assembly and others. The High Court declared that the Privatization Act of 2023 was unconstitutional, null and void. And the court found that Parliament had failed to conduct meaningful public participation and had undermined constitutional values of transparency, separation of powers, and legislative oversight, especially regarding sensitive decisions to divest state assets without parliamentary approval. And therefore, the decision restored the legal environment to the status quo that was there, therefore reverting to the 2005 Act. And this bill, therefore, Honorable Speaker, seeks to address the issues that were raised by the court. And indeed, I must take this opportunity to thank the chair of the Privatization Committee, the Honorable Shurie, and his committee for the very meticulous work that they put in to ensure that they addressed each and every of the issues that were raised by the court, and especially around the issue of public participation. And this bill has been drafted in a way that it bridges all those gaps that were identified and lays a very good foundation for a constitutionally grounded privatization framework for the country to move us forward. It once again establishes the Privatization Authority, as was there in the 2023 Act, as a professional and independent body tasked with advising the government on privatization matters. and also preparing proposals for privatization and overseeing the implementation of such privatization processes. Unlike its predecessor, or the Bill of 2023, this bill enshrines robust parliamentary and public participation safeguards, restoring the National Assembly's oversight role, and reinstates the requirement for parliamentary approval, not merely executive notification, before any privatization process can proceed. Honorable Speaker, that is very critical, because one of the issues that the court, many Kenyans raised, and even those who went to court, was on the question of public participation, which I have said was adequately addressed in the processing of this bill, and also the issues that have been raised in terms of the separation of powers between the executive and the legislature, and especially the question of removing the oversight role of Parliament in terms of privatization matters. And therefore, this bill is restoring those powers to the National Assembly, that any privatization process in this country will not be a mere notification to the National Assembly of the privatization program by the executive, but they must seek approval from Parliament, and therefore it is only Parliament that can approve privatization processes, because as was said even in the previous proposal, Honorable Speaker, under Order number 13, this is a matter that touches on divestiture from public investments and public assets, and therefore the people's representatives have a role to execute. Honorable Speaker, that is what now this bill is doing. Honorable Speaker, the current legal framework for privatization, as I said, is anchored around the Act of 2005, which became operational in 2008. And many of you remember 2008 was before the promulgation of the new constitution. And therefore, the Act as it is today does not address critical constitutional principles under the new constitution. And we have therefore worked, and I must thank the committee again, because they ensured that this bill is in tandem with the 2010 Constitution, unlike the 2005 Act, which is not in tandem with the new Constitution. Honorable Speaker, another key strength of the bill is the emphasis on transparency and inclusivity. As I mentioned, Honorable Speaker, there were issues raised on inclusivity of the public in matters privatization, in the matter that was in court. And the bill is now mandating consultations with affected stakeholders during the preparation of privatization programs, public gazettement of approved programs. Therefore, you must engage with the relevant stakeholders. If, for instance, you want to privatize a company or any state corporation, you must engage with the stakeholders in that industry beforehand. And also gazette, in the public gazette, the approved privatization programs, and publication of key details of completed transactions. It's not enough to just notify people that we intend to privatize this and that state corporation. You must engage with key stakeholders in that particular sector. And also post the privatization, you must come back and report to the Kenyan people the details of the completed transactions. And that's what I was saying, even on the IPO for Kenya Pipeline Company. Once we get into the IPO, the government will be obligated to come back to the people's representatives and through them to the people to report on progress of the completed transaction. And therefore, that creates a very good structure for ensuring that there is not only inclusivity, but there is transparency and accountability in the manner in which we transact matters to do with privatization. And I did hear the Honorable Oudo, the member for Funyula, speak at length. And you know it's good to speak to the gallery, Honorable Speaker, in this house, because we are not in a church, we are in a house of parliament, there is politics, and it's good for the Honorable Udo to speak to the gallery and excite those that he seeks to excite. But facts speak better than the speaking to the public gallery. Facts as are the laws that we are enacting today, the legislative proposals before us, whether it is that session of paper that we have just approved, or this privatization bill, the matter of inclusivity, transparency, and accountability have become cardinal in these laws. And how I wish Honorable Udo was here to contribute to these issues. I can see him walking back, so that he can articulate the issues he was articulating now, because they are very well stipulated in these bills.
And I was thanking Honorable Udo for speaking to the gallery, speaking to the people of Funyula to see that he's indeed a doctor who can speak good English. But the good English is also the good English that has been put in this legislative proposal that ensures that the things, Honorable Udo, is good you are here, that you are speaking to, issues touching on transparency, inclusivity, engagement with stakeholders, ensuring there is accountability, and beyond the process, coming back to report on the completed transaction. Therefore, Honorable Udo, if you read this bill and internalize it, because I have also seen there are also others who came here to just vote and walk out. And you know them. Yeah? Yes, you know them. But ask them what is contained in these legislative proposals. Ask the member for Kajiado North, for instance. Ask him what is in this bill. He has no idea. Ask him what was in the sessional paper. No idea. Yeah. So, Honorable Speaker, I am speaking to these issues because we are now in debate, second reading. Please take time and read the bill. Internalize it. See how well this bill has been processed by the committee. We deliberately, in the last parliament, separated from the Finance and National Planning Committee, the Committee on Public Debt and Privatization, so that we have diligent members of this House, diligent members like Honorable Shurie, Honorable Makali Mulu, and the other members like Honorable Makilap, who sit in this committee, Honorable Mboko Milemba, a seasoned member of this House. And this committee of very serious legislators has sat for long hours to ensure that this particular bill will pass not just the test of time, but also the constitutionality, so that it doesn't befall the fate that befell the 2023 Act, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I just want to conclude by saying that this bill now provides a very clear review and appeals mechanism through the Privatization Appeals Board. And therefore, it's not enough to just come back and report on the completed transaction. If any Kenyan is dissatisfied with the manner in which a particular privatization is being carried out, they can appeal to the Appeals Board, Privatization Appeals Board, with the possibility also of further recourse to the High Court. And therefore, this further promotes fairness and accountability, the fairness and accountability that the Honorable Udo was speaking to. And I invite Honorable Udo and many of us to now support this privatization bill so that it becomes an act of parliament, so that it can guide us and shepherd us through the process of privatization. Because, Honorable Speaker, as I said, privatization is here with us and we can't run away from it. And I have heard the concerns of many people when we speak about privatization. Oh, we are selling state assets. We are selling our strategic investments. Honorable Owen Bayer spoke something in his local language that said, you use what you possess. Yes. Loosely translated from what we say in my community, I was saying, even as we say, Modu Adagia Borieria Enayo, that you can only dispose of that goat that you own and that you have, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, when you have resources, and we are constrained in raising revenues in this country, Honorable Speaker. Because when I hear people oppose the privatization of state-owned assets to raise resources for the state to deliver services to the people, whether it is in infrastructure, whether it is in healthcare, the same people oppose raising of taxes. Then when they appear on TV stations, because they want to look intelligent, they say, oh, government must innovate new ways of raising money. Which other new ways other than raising money from the capital markets? Which other new ways other than privatization of such profitable companies? Because you do not sell that which is dead. You sell that which is alive. Even in your cowshed, Honorable Clive, you cannot sell your dying cows. You sell those that are strong, those that will fetch better prices in the market. Then they will help you to acquire new investments, new calves, healthier ones. I don't know, Honorable Clive, because he went to the Alliance High School, he knows these things. He knows these things. And because I know Honorable Clive Gesairo went to Alliance, and I know he knows these things. At times I look at him speaking elsewhere, and I wonder, Honorable Gesairo, because you know these things, and you know it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do for the country. It is the right thing to do for our constituents. Let us use privatization to raise money so that we do not overtax Kenyans. Because when you oppose privatization, when you oppose IPOs, you are telling government, go back and borrow, go back and raise taxes. Government is telling you today that we do not want to overtax Kenyans. We do not want to raise higher taxes. We do not want to raise our public debt. We want to utilize the resources that we have, Honorable Speaker. And you know, the savings that we have encouraged, and again, Honorable Speaker, it speaks to the issues that we are speaking about. About 6 years ago, when we amended the NSSF Act to ensure that we encourage the savings culture, many people at that time opposed it, and you remember even people went to court. Today, we can see the benefits of having entrenched that savings culture in NSSF. When we talk about privatization today, we have an opportunity now for NSSF because they have resources that they have raised in the last 3 years that are equivalent, double the resources that they raised over 60 years. Therefore, this is one strategic investor, NSSF, that can invest in our PPP model of financing infrastructure projects, that can invest in some of these companies that government is directly divesting from, because NSSF is an independent body corporate. NSSF is not the government of Kenya. Therefore, nothing stops NSSF from investing, for instance, in the IPO on Kenya Pipeline for NSSF to own another 25% of the pipeline. Nothing stops NSSF. And that is our money as Kenyans, money that we are saving for our old age. What better investment opportunity other than through this privatization, even for our other state-owned enterprises and other authorities like NSSF to invest in our own economy, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me not belabor, because this bill is largely a repetition of the 2023 Act with the corrections that have now constitutionalized the issues that the court had declared unconstitutional, and therefore beg to move and request the indomitable chair of the Privatization and Public Debt Committee, who has put in a lot of work together in this committee to ensure that this bill becomes a business to be considered before this House, to second this motion in agreement. I beg to move.
Yeah, you will proceed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion on the Privatization Bill 2025 as moved by the Leader of Majority, the Honorable Ichung'wah. Honorable Speaker, this bill has undergone extensive and rigorous deliberations by both committees, the Public Debt and Privatization Committee and the Finance and National Planning Committee. Members devoted significant time and expertise to examine its provisions with the objective of ensuring that the proposed legal framework adequately responds to both present and future challenges while unlocking opportunities that a modernized privatization regime can deliver to our country. Honorable Speaker, allow me to highlight the key strengths of this bill. 1. Enhanced public participation and inclusivity. This legislation is the product of one of the most comprehensive public participation exercises undertaken in recent years. The committees facilitated the submission of written memoranda and conducted stakeholder consultations across 25 counties, thereby ensuring that voices from diverse sectors and regions informed the proposed framework. We wish to appreciate your office and that of the Clerk of the National Assembly for the facilitation that made this exercise possible. 2. Strengthen parliamentary oversight and transparency. The bill significantly enhances the role of the National Assembly in overseeing privatization. It stipulates that the privatization program and each proposed transaction relating to a state-owned enterprise must receive the express approval of this House. This provision entrenches accountability, transparency, and democratic legitimacy in the privatization process while safeguarding the public interest. 3. Safeguards for stakeholders and efficient appeals mechanism. The bill institutionalizes avenues for various stakeholders, including employees, investors, and the wider public, to express their concerns and perspectives. In addition, it establishes an expedited and more efficient appeals mechanism, thereby promoting fairness, predictability, and investor confidence. 4. Economic efficiency and unlocking idle assets. Honorable Speaker, our nation continues to shoulder the fiscal burden of underperforming state-owned enterprises. The passage of this bill will enable the efficient and effective privatization of entities whose productive and economic capacity is underutilized. In doing so, it will reallocate resources towards more productive uses, stimulate private sector investment, and foster economic competitiveness. 5. Transparency, accountability, and market confidence. The bill sets out clear principles for privatization, anchoring the process on transparency, accountability, and public disclosure. This is vital for sustaining public trust and attracting both domestic and international investment capital. 6. Introduction of a sunset clause for the privatization program. A particular progressive feature of this bill is the introduction of a 4-year sunset clause for each privatization program. This provision ensures that privatization transactions are implemented within a clear medium-term timeframe, aligned with the prevailing macroeconomic conditions. It provides certainty to the market, supports financial planning by investors, and reduces risk associated with long-term policy uncertainty. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to record my sincere appreciation to the Leader of Majority, the co-chair of my co-chair, chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, for the spirit of collaboration that characterized our joint engagements. I equally extend gratitude to members of both committees whose diligence and commitment to robust scrutiny of the bill have culminated in the report before us today. With those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to second and urge this Honorable House to support the passage of the Privatization Bill 2025. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, I now propose the question for the Privatization Bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2025, be now read a second time. The Honorable Omboko Milemba.
Thank you, the Almighty. Thank you, the Honorable Speaker, for this chance. And let me thank the movers of the bill. On privatization, Honorable Speaker, privatization is a process that is very vital for this country. And it comes from the fact that we have had state-owned enterprises, and there are many. Originally, they were called the parastatals. And they were created for a purpose. The purpose for which they were created, some of them has now outlived their existence. Majority of them were formed at independence when the country was also facing transition from the colonial government to self-independence. And Honorable Speaker, the country needed to balance the investments in different areas of the country away from that to create employment for the Kenyans who were there. And also the private sector was very weak and therefore could not invest in certain areas. And when they invested, Honorable Speaker, they did invest in areas that they thought were of great interest in terms of profiteering. But they avoided others. I'm happy we have been talking about the Kenya pipeline. That's one of the areas where at the independence, the private sector would not invest in because of lack of the immense capital required and at the same time, the interest by the private sector. But then along the way, Honorable Speaker, these investments have outlived the need for government to continue investing themselves. Some of them, if you remember, were as simple as just supermarkets like Uchumi, and others were simple, like transport sector taxis when we used to have Kenatco, for those who remember. And some of them were as simple as just wholesaling businesses. But with time, the private sector has really increased and has actually gained capacity. And therefore, there's no real need of government continuing to compete with the private sector on sections or on businesses that otherwise can be done by the private sector better. Experience has also shown, Honorable Speaker, that the private sector, when given a chance to do those businesses like hotels, that reminds me very quickly of hotels like the Golf Hotel in Kakamega, the Sunset in Kisumu, which you may find that the government is still struggling to invest in such like businesses. When the private sector is doing better in terms of investing in hotels. And therefore, this law comes in timely. And the dangers that were associated with this law have been removed by the intense public participation that our committee did do insofar as the privatization is concerned. So one thing I want to be clear to Kenyans is that the process of privatization is with us and is a correct process which will actually offload the government of the burden of retaining issues like taxing people more in order to invest in these private enterprises that are no longer making profits, paying the workers who are those in private enterprises that do not make profits, and therefore actually putting pressure on the consolidated fund, which otherwise then have to make sure that these enterprises are paid, while at the same time increasing the wage bill, which otherwise would be reduced if we privatized these enterprises and therefore would be run by the private sector. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I want to support this bill and indicate that some of the key areas that have been handled, as already indicated by the mover and the seconder of the bill, is the fact that the Parliament or the National Assembly, the Parliament has been brought in the center of this process. This was very vital because these are enterprises that are owned by the public, and therefore the representatives of the people who are in this House should have a pivotal, a very important, a core position in the process of doing the privatization. And therefore, that has been included in this bill, and it is very, very good this time. Number two, Honorable Speaker, public participation, the threshold to be actually attained is very, very important so that we don't have cases where we have this privatization being done by the executive at a different corner, and therefore the House or the representatives of the people may not have a voice on what is happening. Honorable Speaker, transparency, inclusivity and accountability in this process is also very important, and this bill addresses this, including those who are involved in these bodies that, or enterprises that need to be privatized, so that the workers, for instance, are involved and they have a stake, and it's taken that the workers will have this place for themselves upon the end of the privatization, because this has been one of the most serious challenges for the workers of Kenya. Whenever privatization occurs, then they are left out, and that has not been very good. So the employees and the workers, but the community also, because some of these enterprises may touch on community-owned or owned enterprises. We have our parks and other institutions that you may need to also consult the community, and the community should have a hand in actually saying that this is how it should be done. Also, the timeline now has been put in law so that the process can be done within a time frame that is known. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, this is a very good law, and this House must stand and take the oversight role of the process of privatization strongly, and also take the public participation very, very strongly, so that when the processes are occurring, they are transparent and every citizen is happy that it has been done very, very well. Honorable Speaker, with the passage of this bill, the government shall be able to deal with some of the publicly owned enterprises which are lying idle in the country. And most of them are in form of either factories, other hotels, and also the land on which they are lying. We shall also be asking that the valuation of these enterprises be done in a very open way, the Auditor General, so that the audit reports are also brought to Parliament for proper debating to understand that the valuations so given are the correct valuations for those government-owned enterprises that are being sold. And this is the way to go. The government cannot continue competing with the private sector in small enterprises like hotels, like markets, supermarkets, and many others, which have made the government to spend more and actually taxes people more simply because they are trying to sustain these state-owned enterprises in the name of parastatus. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity, support this bill, and also indicates that even the one that I missed to speak on, the one that has gone earlier on the Kenya pipeline, we believe that with an aspect of privatization, the running of these organizations become more serious, accountability is there, profits are made, and a good example is the Kenya Power and Lighting. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to support.
The Honorable David Mboni from the Finance and National Planning Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On onset, let me say I support this bill, not because I'm a member of Finance and National Planning Committee, but my background is economics, and therefore I know a bill like this one is in my area of specialization. Mr. Speaker, let me start by saying, after the independence, the government embarked on setting up parastatus and government agencies, and currently they stand at around 200, over 200 parastatus and government agencies. And basically they were to undertake legislative work and bridge gaps where private sector go. By then, private sector was very weak and could not offer services by that time. So the government set up parastatus, like Kenya National Trade Corporation, NOC, so that they can provide services where private sector could not be able to provide. Mr. Speaker, in the early 1990s, during the structural adjustment and liberalization of the economy moved from government-controlled economy, that is command economy, to open economy and market economy, where demand and supply determines the market price. And because of that, most of the parastatals have become irrelevant to the economy. For example, Kenya National Trade Corporation, which was dealing with consumable goods, cement and building materials, has become irrelevant. And most of the parastatals have become, they have faced mismanagement and corruption challenges. And they have become a big stress, a very big stress to the exchequer. The billions of shillings we are spending on these parastatals. In fact, I propose, even some of them we should even give them for free. Because if you are spending money on something which is broad bringing profit, you are making a loss on that thing. So I really don't care. And I know some people may say that I'm from the opposition, and I'm supporting a bill which is not supposed to be supported by the opposition, but this is the right way to go, Mr. Speaker. When we were doing public participation for this bill, there were a few questions which were being asked. One, the selling of Kenya Pipeline Corporation and this private bill, which should come first? I think that's a question which we should ask ourselves. Which should come first? And I really have no problem with that. The other thing which came up is the valuation of the parastatus. How are they going to be valued? The Kenyans have no problem with the selling of these parastatus, but they fear the valuation, most of them may be undervalued, and they may end up in wrong hands. Even they were also questioning the methods of selling of the parastatus. Is it going to be transparent and accountable to the Kenyan people? But when you look at the bill, and the other thing they were questioning is, are Kenyans going to be given a chance to buy the parastatus? But when you look at the bill, it is addressing those concerns. Mr. Speaker, I know we have done privatization of some of the parastatus in this country, and there are success stories like Kenya Commercial Bank, that is a success story. Safaricom is a success story. Kengen is also a success story. But there are also unsuccessful stories like Kenya Airways. And in the recent years, we have spent a lot of money on Kenya Airways. And Mr. Speaker, the money we have spent, I think we need to look at the equity. If our equity as a government has increased in Kenya Airways. Mr. Speaker, the This bill is trying to address the defects which were being addressed, which were not addressed in the Private Bill 2023, which was annulled by the court because of a simple thing like public participation, which we have actually conducted. Mr. Speaker, looking at the bill, Clause 8, it establishes the privatization authority to steer the privatization agenda and is going to be in charge of the privatization. And this is a very, very, very important thing, clause, because, Speaker, for the last 10 years, more than 10 years, we have not been able to sell any parastatal. And when you look at Nairobi Stock Exchange, has been somehow very, very, very dormant because we are not overloading some of these shares. And when you sell some of these parastatals, for example, we are going to get money from the exchequer, get money into the exchequer, and we are also going to save money from supporting this parastatal, which has amounted to a lot of stress to the exchequer. Clause 22 through 23 of the bill provides for the privatization program by the Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury. And this program is supposed to be forwarded to Cabinet for approval and brought in the National Assembly also for approval. In the program, in the National Assembly, the National Assembly can do three things. One, they can approve the whole program, they can amend the program, or disapprove the whole program. And this is where the oversight role of Parliament is very important, so that we are not going to find a situation whereby these parastatals are undervalued. If we feel they're undervalued, then we can be able to reject the program for individual parastatal or all of them. Mr. Speaker, Clause 21 provides for details proposal for each identity listed in the program and outline the following. One, the method. If you are selling, for example, let's say we are selling, for example, Kenya Pipeline, the program should have a proposal on how that identity is going to be sold. For example, we are going to have the method of privatization. Is it initial public offering or any other method? For example, private placement or sale of assets. And of course, how the shares are also going to be sold to the employees. Because I've seen most of the parastatals when they are being sold, there's a percentage which is supposed to go to the employees so that they can also be able to own shares in the company. Two, the method, the approach, and the method of valuation. How is the parastatal going to be valued? So that at least people understand this parastatal has been valued at this, and this is what we have arrived in terms of value for the parastatal. Three, implication for employees. How are employees going to be treated? Are they going to remain in the parastatal, or are they going to be given a handshake? And lastly, safeguards for public interest. Mr. Speaker, this process will give transparency in the private program and accountability to the Kenyan people. The bill provides a framework for appeals for aggrieved person. And this where Honorable Oundo, when he feels that he is aggrieved, he can go and appeal on the program so that at least the courts can be able to address the concerns on how that paragraph is being sold. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support.
Honorable members, let me interrupt the proceedings a bit to welcome students and teachers from a school who are seated in our public gallery to observe proceedings. This is Enosagami Wa Schools, Narok South, Narok County. They are welcome to the National Assembly to observe the proceedings during their learning tour, for this is the house where laws are made, where national government budget is made and where the executive, the national executive, is oversighted from. You're welcome. The Honorable Makilap.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to, from the onset, that I support this privatization bill, and having been one of those members of Parliament in Committee of Public Debt and Privatization that moved across the country to get views of Kenyans on this privatization bill. So, Speaker, this is not a new thing to this House. This thing was done in 2023, and it was thrown away by the courts for only one major thing, that public participation was not done. So, Speaker, we did a comprehensive public participation this time around across the people of Kenya. So, Speaker, one of the things that members who have an opportunity to read about this bill, it sets up structures of privatization. It sets up structures of privatization from establishment of what is called a privatization authority. What does that mean, Chairman, Mr. Speaker? That it reveals what we used to have as privatization commission to now a privatization authority, which as a chairman, a CEO, and other members even drawn from the public, Mr. Speaker. And these members from the public are expertise in various areas which are established in this particular bill. It is cited in this bill that these are the members who will be appointed to this privatization authority. Mr. Speaker, it also sets what is called a privatization program. Mr. Speaker, this House has been accused that you have abdicated your role to the executive, that Parliament has no role in this particular bill. Those of us who have an opportunity to read, if you read clause 23, clause 24, clause 25, where clause 25 is even very particular, I can read, Mr. Speaker, the National Assembly shall is a must, approve the program for implementation, approve the program with amendments or decline the program. So, Speaker, it sets out the authority, it sets out the program. You know, these are two different things, the program or privatization. And also establishes other committees, even committee or what is called a bill support committee for those who are not satisfied about the privatization process. It is therefore provided for. It also provides what is called a committee to look into the entire program and sets timelines, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is very comprehensive. And during the third reading or during Committee of Supply, you realize what the people of Kenya said when we went around. In fact, the people of Kenya at some point were telling us, why do you want to sell everything? They thought this is a legal framework. It must be known in Kenya that this privatization bill is a legal framework that will continue to exist for many years, and it can always be amended as we move along, Mr. Speaker. So what does this mean? It means it repeals the Privatization Act of 2005. So, Speaker, if you look at 2005 and today, 2025, those are 20 years down the line, and in between, there was an amalgamation of a new constitution where it set out some parastatals under national government. And some have outlived their usefulness. In fact, at some point, Mr. Speaker, the public asked us, why are you interested in selling those which are profitable, like pipeline that we just passed some few minutes ago? So, Speaker, if something is profitable and if you want to make it more profitable, you privatize it so that you have more players, more resources in it, and in return, you will get more revenue. Government gets more revenue by ensuring that the public entity being privatized has many players and putting in resources. Mr. Speaker, it also, if you look at clause 35, subsection 2H, Subsection 2 says the privatization proposal shall specify. And this is very critical for the people of Kenya. It says, where applicable, a recommendation on how to undertake socio-economic investment to the host community. To the host community. This is very important for those who have been dealing with sugar or parastatals that are domiciled in specific communities in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, it also highlights an issue of valuation. Mr. Speaker, Kenyans are very critical in valuation, even including the valuation of what we've just passed called Kenya Pipeline. Mr. Speaker, Kenyans are saying we could even have more or two valuers so that the correct value of what is supposed to be privatized is realized for the people. Kenyans are interested in security of those who are in those parastatals. And I want to encourage Kenyans and even inform them that even this one for Kenya Pipeline that we've just passed, you know, it will employ, when the Kenya Pipeline is expanded throughout the IPO, there will be many players, there will be many people to be recruited in it, and thus no one is going to lose his job. Mr. Speaker, we also privatized Rivertex alone, Mr. Speaker. Look at Rivertex today. When I was in Finland, the Finnish people were running a program or a program of Rivertex doing the process of turning cotton into clothes in Washington, in Eldoret. And it is becoming profitable. What are we saying, Mr. Speaker? This bill is addressing most of the things that are required to be addressed. For example, Mr. Speaker, even when we went to public said, okay, Lord, during the Committee of Supply, you'll realize that there was some qualification or experience of over 10 years experience. And the youth in those places where we went, they say, okay, this thing is good, but reduce for us the number of, and you will see in our report as we move along. So what is very important, Mr. Speaker, is the entities being privatized will be able to bring in resources, bring in revenue, and create more opportunities for the people of Kenya. So let us not see privatization, this framework, as something that is going to sell everything from Kenyans. In fact, it is creating an opportunity to raise the necessary resources to bridge the budget caps. For example, Mr. Speaker, the budget cap of this year is about 923 billion shillings. Some of them will be bridged through what is called public-private partnerships. Others will be through resources that are raised through the IPO. And using IPO, Mr. Speaker, is one of the best ways because this thing protects up to including what is called strategic national assets. It is provided for here. Strategic national assets, Mr. Speaker, because when we were in Eldoret, some people told us you want to sell the bullet factory. And we told them this bill protects strategic national assets from being privatized. So the rumors that are too many in people's heads, Mr. Speaker, has to be actually given the truth about this particular bill. Even the people of Makueni, to remove the worries of Professor, my good friend, Member of Parliament from Professor Warner. You know, the court case awarded the people of Makueni some money for the pipeline and something like that. And when we looked into it, when this thing is, the KBC is privatized, it will be able to bring in more money, and those people will be, the new buyers will take liabilities and everything else. So the guarantee of the people of Makueni to have enough resources is to actually privatize or to be compensated for the pipeline spillage and so on, is actually to privatize this thing so that you can get enough resources. So in short, Mr. Speaker, is even these hotels, I have an hotel and I'm interested to invest in it called Cabernet Hotel that has been earmarked for privatization. And the workers have not been paid. I will bring something for the workers that used to work in that particular hotel so that they can be able to get their money. So, Mr. Speaker, we must be very careful, and we have looked into this particular privatization bill. We've even come with some amendments, And I want members of parliament to be very keen so that when the chairman will be moving the amendments, you realize that we took care of the views of Kenyans wherever we went, so that those worries are actually abandoned, Mr. Speaker. I support this particular privatization bill. It's a framework.
The Honorable Ndindi Nyoro is recognized to make his contributions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for this chance to give my views on this bill. Honorable Speaker, on the onset, on the economic sense of it, everyone should support a lean government. And a lean government is the one that is left to only adjudicate the services that touches on the people. And therefore, the government must always strive to cut off excess weight. When you carry more than you need, then it pulls you behind. And that is the reason why, ever since I have been a proponent of government not engaging in the business of doing business. Because what can be done by others, then the government should leave those other people to do, because they do it much more efficiently. Honorable Speaker, the other reason why government must never be too bulky and engaging in too many commercial ventures is because government of Kenya already owns 35% of all the businesses in Kenya indirectly, including the small company any member would be running in this house today. Because as corporate tax is 35%, it means the government of Kenya is actually in the board of your company all the time. And you actually give them a share of 35% of the profit you make. And it means, therefore, they own 35% of all the enterprises indirectly in terms of stakes and in terms of share of revenue, and especially net revenue. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, across the world, many governments continue to shed off whatever can be done by others, and especially in the private sector. But there is always a debate, internationally speaking, Honorable Speaker, because when you look, for example, an economy like the US, an economy like South Korea, they are private sector driven, meaning the government does not necessarily engage in too much commercial activity. But on the other side, when you look at a company like China, you see an economy where the government is dominant in direct ownership of stakes. And all those economies do well. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it does not necessarily mean everyone is right and entirely right. It all depends on the circumstances, and it all depends on the scenario. Honorable Speaker, the reason why many companies and many governments arrive to the decision of selling many of the corporate entities, and especially the commercial ones they engage in, of course, it enhances efficiency, and of course, and especially when the reason of engaging in it is overtaken by events. Let me give what I mean. As we talk today about the government of Kenya, of us making it easy for offloading of stakes where government have direct shareholding. As late as now, Honorable Speaker, yesterday, the US government was investing in American lithium. They actually invested in a stake of around 5%. In the last 1 month, the US government actually invested $9 billion into Intel. Intel, which was previously a private company. Why? Investments in commercial entities when it comes to the sovereign must be guided on strategic decisions. Why are you engaging in that reason? The reason why you find in Kenya the oldest banks in Kenya, they are national banks in terms of they were previously owned by the state. It was because of the barrier of entry. The barrier of entry of starting a bank back then could only be managed by the sovereign, which is the country or which is the government. But also the confidence. There are areas, for example, in banking around that time when it was a novelty, that no one could actually trust an individual person as an investor with their own money when they held ownership of the bank. And those are the reasons why we fight, for example, National Bank, Kenya Commercial Bank, had to be started by government that time because of those reasons. But those reasons have been overtaken by events. And the reason why I say so, Honorable Speaker, there is a lot of inefficiency in government-controlled companies in sectors that are booming. Take, for example, Consolidated Bank. Consolidated Bank is over 98% owned by GOK in various forms. But if you look at a bank like Equity Bank is newer than Consolidated Bank. But Consolidated Bank is actually having now net capital as we talk now, when Equity Bank now have shareholders' funds of over 300 billion Kenya shillings, which is core capital. And their profitability, again, are very diverse. So those strategic decisions back then could not hold today. The strategic decision of the US government investing in a chip-making company in aid of AI in the name of Intel is a today agenda, and therefore it is relevant. The reason for the US government investing in American lithium yesterday for a stake of 5% and also taking some of the risks out of where they are mining lithium, Honorable Speaker, is also based on the current global economy, strategic decision making. And therefore, we must always audit and find what is it that is making strategic sense, what is it that is not making strategic sense, so that we can float as much as possible to the private sector to do what they know best. Honorable Speaker, let me talk about how we should spend the money. The previous agenda was about Kenya Pipeline. And Honorable Speaker, my take would be this. For any company that goes through a listing, through an IPO, we must always reserve around 5 to 10% of the proceeds to invest back in other entities, and especially in alternative ways of offering the same service. What do I mean? As we offload any company, then you must take this money, create a venture capital, and invest in other current growth kind of institutions around the same sector. Green energy, and any other thing around power sector, for example, or energy sector. So that as you offload this, you are incubating some others. So that you don't get a time when you've already offloaded your entire portfolio. Honorable Speaker, let me talk something about the current capital markets, because it's very important even for the agenda we had about Kenya Pipeline, and even this bill. Honorable Speaker, capital market is everything about international capital flow. The US, for example, capital markets in equity side alone is double the size of the US GDP. Because all the companies listed in the US, their valuation cumulatively is around 62 trillion US dollars. In the income sectors, in the fixed income side, it is over 55 trillion. What do I mean, Honorable Speaker? If you compare the same with our capital markets here, it is too small, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, we must make every effort to make it more bigger and attractive. But this is the catch, Honorable members. I am one of the people who would never actually vouch for the listing of Kenya Pipeline. And I'll give you a very practical reason. The current NSE in Kenya has been bearish this year, going up. But the companies listed are still grossly undervalued. And I can tell you without blinking of an eye, Honorable Speaker, this issue of Kenya Pipeline will bring a lot of excitement. Kenyans will buy in the IPO. But after the announcement of the financial results in February for the full year, the share company will collapse. And the share price will collapse. And this is the reason. The current investor in the NSC are not buying assets. They are buying revenue. They are buying the bottom line. What do I mean? Look, for example, a company like Kenya Power. Kenya Power has a valuation, the entire Kenya Power has only a valuation, a market cap of only 27 billion. The reason I use the name only is in comparative to the assets. It has assets of over 350 billion shillings. And it's a company that's making net revenues of 20 billion, but the valuation is 27 billion. Now, a company like Kenya Re, a company has net assets of over 51 billion, net assets. And the valuation in the market, Honorable Speaker, is 17 billion shillings. This company Kenyans will buy out of excitement, but after the announcement next year of the full year results, the share price will collapse. And that is why I am also fearing that the government may end up forcing NSSF and other provident funds to actually take part in this, because commercially it may not be viable for a logical investor. And that is why we need to draw the line, so that we
Honorable Ndindi Nyoro will be given 2 more minutes.
And Honorable Speaker, I think I have made that point. The current investor is not buying assets. The current investor in the market is buying net revenue. And if you look at the profitability of Kenya Pipeline, last year was 6.8 billion. Average for 5 years is 5 billion. An equivalent company in the NSC making a profit of 5 billion, including a bank, the valuation is not more than 35 billion. So that is the kind of valuation that investors are going to encounter as we come on next. The other thing is control. We fight government-owned entities, Honorable Speaker. Government owns 18% of KCB, but then control 100% of the board. That is one of the things that even the listing of the asset that will be listed should be captured. That the government cannot own 35% of an asset, then control 100% of the board. The other 65% should be given board positions. And if the government is giving the CEO, then the chairman should not be from the government, should be from the private sector. Honorable Speaker, the real valuation I was talking about, this is a topic I can talk about the whole day, Honorable Speaker. If you look at a company like Kengen, the valuation is around 55 billion. If you look at the peers in a place like Nigeria, like Geregu Power, Transcorp Power, doing the same and producing less, actually have the capacity of Kengen. The valuation is 200 billion respectively and 211 billion Kenya shillings if you convert from Naira. So what am I trying to say? Our market is not doing justice to valuations. And listing a company now may not suffice. Maybe a strategic investor. Unfortunately, strategic investor cannot work in an area like Kenya where we have a deficit in trust in government. Because if you do strategic investor, the high probability is that patronage will and the person on the other side of the table will actually be the one buying.
The Honorable Catherine Omanyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support this bill fully because, first of all, public participation must be done because it involves public property. And anything that is owned by the public must extensively and intensively be looked into and supported fully by the public. And herein we have representatives of the people. Before it is now passed, we will be here as well. My question is, if any property is privatized, does it mean that the person taking over is carrying it to their homeland, is carrying it to China? No, it is still our property, but managed by people who can do it better, efficiently, more transparency, more transparent. So we do not want negative energy over this, because if this is well done, unemployment to the youth will be something gone, dead and gone, and also quality of how we manage things. You know, if we bring in somebody who can manage properly, it means that our country will be developing. I know very well that other nations that are developed have done it before. It is not something new. I saw it happen with Kengen, our Safaricom, and Safaricom is even one of the best example to put across. So although we know many voices come dissentingly to discourage and put a lot of poison in our people's mind, we should embrace this idea as long as we are in charge, we are in control, and we are not being taken advantage of in any way. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Cynthia Muge.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this bill. I want to say that I support the provisions in this bill. Honourable Speaker, there have been so many questions since privatization set into this country when the idea came. And Honourable Speaker, some of the entities that went through privatization prior to this bill have had a thorough beating. Honourable Speaker, I looked at what happened to Rivertex recently, a few days ago, and there were a lot of gaps that I felt like they should have been addressed before the privatization decision was made. And some of those issues, Honourable Speaker, I appreciate because this bill has been able to look into them. It includes, and not limited to, Honourable Speaker, looking at the assets and even the liabilities that these companies have. And Honourable Speaker, it should be noted that, for example, Rivertex, the land that Rivertex sits on, and even Rivertex itself, is primarily owned by Moi University. Moi University, Honourable Speaker, you know the issues that has been going through. And when the privatization agreement was made, the amount of money that was being given as a proceed of the privatization of Rivertex was an amount of money, Honourable Speaker, that was undervalued. You cannot say that the land that Rivertex sits on, which is very prime in Eldoret, Honourable Speaker, goes for the amount that was paid as proceeds of that privatization. And Honourable Speaker, if that particular piece of land and even the investment in Rivertex had been valued properly, Moi University wouldn't be borrowing and begging the national government for a bailout for around 2 billion, Honourable Speaker. They would have been able to comfortably get the money from the privatization of Rivertex, and Rivertex goes ahead to be able to make profits and make sense economically in this country. And I appreciate this particular bill because it has been able to look at those particular matters. The other issue, Honourable Speaker, is the issue of human resource. The people, as we speak, that worked in Rivertex today, Honourable Speaker, are jobless as we speak today. And I am glad and happy that this particular bill is seeking to be able to undertake better public participation and be able to do more consultation so that we can be able to arrive at better decisions in regards to privatization of these particular entities, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I appreciate and I support privatization because today, as we speak, Honourable Speaker, I read a Facebook post, and of course I have been able to listen to many things that are being said by the people, especially from Nandi. As we speak today, Honourable Speaker, KCC has not been able to pay farmers for 4 months. Honourable Speaker, this is an entity that does not miss or cannot be said that milk was not delivered to them. The milk was properly delivered to KCC, and the farmers have been able to invest in production of the milk. But Honourable Speaker, 4 months down the line, that particular farmer has not been paid. Why? Because of how KCC is being run. And Honourable Speaker, I feel like I wish I could carry KCC and put better management and prudent management and put some idea and agenda into their heads that this should be a farmer-centered entity, that you get the milk, you add value, and you pay the farmer on time. And Honourable Speaker, the more reason why I support this privatization and the bill that will be able to guide privatization is because of such issues, so that we can have the people who are actually bringing raw material into an entity get paid on time. Honourable Speaker, for a very long time, government entities has been associated with bureaucracies and inefficiencies. And I feel like this privatization, Honourable Speaker, is able to finally take off the responsibility of service delivery, or so to speak, Honourable Speaker, from government entities, so that then we can finally go and run away from bureaucracies and the inefficiencies that are associated with it. Honourable Speaker, the things that we have in this country are of very high value. The problem that we have, Honourable Speaker, is the mentality. We are not commercially, we have not adopted a commercial model in many things that we run. And therefore, Honourable Speaker, I feel like this bill is finally going to lead this country and most of the entities that have been a burden and a baggage to this country, and especially the tight fiscal space, an opportunity to be able to offload it. And Honourable Speaker, I am more than happy to remove most of these entities from getting or requiring exchequer bailouts so that they can be able to go out there and be able to generate their own money. So, Honourable Speaker, I really appreciate the thought process that went into this bill so that we can finally properly guide privatization of the entities so that, one, we can achieve service delivery and we can be able to have a more efficient delivery of service to the people in Kenya, Honourable Speaker, and most importantly, be able to sort out especially the Kenyans that are providing raw materials for some of these entities to be able to run. So, Honourable Speaker, I support this bill and I hope that it actually gets appropriate implementation so that it can be able to sort out the so many historical issues and problems that we have faced as a country and as a people in this country. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this bill.
The Honorable Dr. Otiende Amolo, Senior Counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was hoping the wise man now taking your attention would listen to our contribution, because during a time like this, years back, he supported a similar bill which we passed despite our objection and ended up being nullified. But wisdom has no limit. But Mr. Speaker, on a serious note, I need your direction. I hope someone will tell the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro what I said. Mr. Speaker, before my time starts running, under the standing orders, once a bill has been moved and seconded, we are supposed to contribute, and the mover and the seconder are supposed to listen. So when they reply, they are able to address some of our concerns. From what I can see, there's the mover has just now appeared, and I like that. I think I should keep making these objections.
The Honorable Dr. Otiende Amolo.
Yes.
This parliament, we listen to parliament from various places.
Thank you.
The mover was actually behind here, listening to every word.
Thank you.
So that
now,
implies.
Mr. Speaker, may you direct that my time starts running now? Mr. Speaker, I support this bill with reservations. And I support it because it has many good provisions, but some provisions that require to be re-examined. It is my hope that either the committee has re-examined them and will be moving them, or will consider them during the committee of the whole House. Mr. Speaker, this is an improvement, but in my view, it is still not perfect. And I want to start with what has been said in terms of approval by Parliament. Mr. Speaker, if you look at Section 20, what Parliament submits is a program. It is the program, not the specific approval. And I want you to juxtapose Section 20 with Section 22 of the provisions and Section 26. Section 20 and 22, where Parliament received the privatization program. In Section 36, when it comes to the Cabinet receives the specific proposal for each, not the program. Section 36(1). And when you read 36(2), moving forward, the Cabinet then approves each specific unit for privatization, as opposed to Parliament, where we are given a whole program. It is therefore not entirely correct to say that under this bill, Parliament specifically approves the privatization. And in my opinion, that is wrong. Parliament should retain the discretion to approve the specific unit of privatization, not some overall program. Mr. Speaker, I then draw your attention to Section 23. In this section, you see that Parliament is restricted to 60 days. Parliament must approve within 60 days. I know of no other legislation, except the Constitution itself, that introduces similar provisions. And in this case, does not make any reference to when Parliament is on recess. Many times, they would have a proviso that time runs when Parliament is on session, not when it is on recess. But I see no such provision. Mr. Speaker, if you look at Section 32, it treats Kenyans and non-Kenyans alike. And I'm not quite sure what the motivation of Section 32 is, because even if it was quiet, then it would treat Kenyans and non-Kenyans alike. But why it says that it can be any person, whether Kenyan or non-Kenyan, then it raises eyebrows, because I thought if you must refer to it, then you'd want to give some preferential treatment to Kenyans if they are of equal footing. But when you say that it does not matter, then it is of worry to me. Coming back to Section 20, on public participation that was spoken about, you realize that under this bill, the public participation is actually done by the cabinet secretary, as opposed to where we have usually been, where it is Parliament that does public participation. If you read that with the restriction in terms of the 60 days, it drives you to the conclusion that this bill wants the public participation to be done by the executive and wants no window for public participation by Parliament. And I have a problem with that. Mr. Speaker, Section 53, and this is a bit technical, but you'll understand it.
Honorable Otiende Amolo, you know, whenever you speak, the House goes quiet. Is there business that can be transacted by Parliament that does not involve public participation?
That is my submission.
If we consider the provisions of Article 118.
Let me answer it in this way. And that is, what you've said is my exact concern. That Section 20 of this bill gives the Cabinet Secretary the discretion to do public participation. When it comes to Parliament, then, Section 23 restricts Parliament to 60 days. The point being this: in my view, that restriction will constrain the ability of Parliament to do public participation. That is my submission. And that then becomes unconstitutional.
Yeah, it will constrain Parliament in terms of time.
Yes.
But it cannot take away the obligation imposed on Parliament by Article 118, which I may read. I'll freeze your time. That Parliament shall conduct its business in an open manner, and its sittings and those of its committees shall be in public, and facilitate public participation and involvement in the legislative and other business of Parliament and its committees. So privatization at that level becomes other business of Parliament.
Everything you've read amplifies my argument.
Thank you.
And this, it is in twofold. One, that while Section 20 provides an avenue for public participation expressly by the Cabinet Secretary, there is no corresponding section that expressly provides for public participation by Parliament. That's the first limb. The second limb is that by restricting the time to 60 days, and you know how public participation works, it may interfere with the duty of Parliament to do public participation. And that is my problem with those two sections.
Thank you,
I now
Honorable
come
Amolo.
to my last submission.
Thank you, Honorable Amolo.
My last submission is this.
Yes.
In relation to Section 53.
No, Honorable Amolo does not want information from you, Mover.
No. Mover, that's why I wanted you back. Take notes keenly, and then when you are replying, you will be able to respond.
I have heard Honorable Amolo Mover to be saying
yes,
there could be amendment to the period.
But that is why I started.
Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, I started by saying this. But
Yes,
what is the
Mover.
point of order?
You can also freeze his Honorable Otiende's time, because I just need...
Honorable Otiende, I will not
because
freeze your
the issue
but
Honorable
I will
Otiende
add you time.
is raising, Honorable Speaker, and you have alluded to it, is critical on public participation. And you have clearly read the provisions of Article 118 of the Constitution. I just wanted Honorable Otiende to help the House as a senior counsel. When the Constitution explicitly provides for public participation, that Parliament must conduct public participation on any legislative proposal, an act of Parliament can never negate that, and that is my understanding of basic law. And I'm not a student of law. That's why I wanted Honorable Otiende to educate me and the House and Kenyans whether the absence of that explicit provision in this statute or this proposed statute negates that which is provided for in the Constitution. Because my understanding, Honorable Speaker, from what you are saying, is that it does not negate, and Parliament will be obligated, as we do with all other legislative proposals, to carry out public participation. Just that clarification.
Honorable Otiende Amolo, because you are in the committee of experts only, otherwise you owe the mover no obligation of education.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, so proceed.
Indeed. And you know, indeed, Mr. Speaker, we allow the mover that discretion, but that is not a point of order. That is a point of argument. But let me now then explain what the problem is. Slowly. Two things, Mr. Speaker. One is that because the Constitution provides for public participation, you may not need to expressly provide for it. But then the question is, why then expressly provide for public participation by the Cabinet Secretary? And public participation is required not just by Parliament, it is required by all organs. So because the Constitution does not require it, why would you provide for the Cabinet Secretary and not for Parliament? That's the first problem I have. But the next problem I have is the time constraint. Because Parliament should be left the discretion to do sufficient public participation, when you constrain its time to 60 days, then you might actually be constraining that duty, and that is my problem. So if you ask, just so that I answer.
Honorable Amolo, you are understood.
Yes.
In fact, you are saying the same thing with the mover, except you are speaking at cross purposes.
Yes, because
the mover is saying...
I'm educating him in law.
Yes. The mover is saying, if I understood the mover well, that while least public participation is provided for in Article 10 as a national value, the Constitution specifically mentions it for Parliament, but does not for the executive. And so the mover is saying for the executive, the bill may need to propose it specifically, but for Parliament, according to him, the bill does not, because Article 118 already does so.
And it's wrong.
But that does not take away your power to amend and to make it better.
And here, Mr. Speaker, the mover is wrong, and that's what I'm trying to explain. But I may need a whole day to explain this. My whole point is, to constrain Parliament to 60 days is a constraint on the duty of public participation. And we would do better to remove that time constraint. In very simple parlance, that's what I'm saying. But let me now come to my last point, Mr. Speaker, and this is a little technical, and I would not blame the committee for this, Section 53, where we establish an appeals board. Now, the design is good because you start with a review, then appeal to the appeals board, then to the High Court.
You will add, Honorable Amolo, how long do you need? 2 minutes. Yeah, I will add you 3 because of my own interventions also.
Thank you. The only technicality, and this is beyond this act, is to advise the committee that as we speak, there's a decision of the High Court, of the Court of Appeal, that moves all these tribunals to the judiciary. And in that context, to establish a tribunal whose appointment is entirely by the President and the Cabinet Secretary is one that might require re-examination. And in fact, as we speak, the legal team in this House, including the Speaker, are grappling to persuade the court that there's room for administrative tribunals and judicial tribunals. But for now, that is the law. And therefore, as framed, Section 53 may be in danger of being unconstitutional. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, we must ask, our order paper number 13, which I think was a supplementary order paper, and the leader and the House business owe us an explanation. When we looked at the order paper this morning, order paper number 13 was not about privatization. And some of us did not come to the House for that reason. When we come, we now find there's a different order paper for approval of a privatization based on a sessional paper, when the very next order is approval of a bill that regulates privatization. What is this thing of legislation by ambush? It is something we must object to, and it is something that must be corrected. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Amolo. Honorable Amolo, the business of the House is determined by the House Business Committee, and there is something called supplementary order paper, so we must always be vigilant. Yes. The Honorable Benjamin Langat will now speak.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. The mover the leader of majority take very seriously the last point raised by Honorable Amolo. And by the way, I know some amendments speak to it, Honorable Amolo, in terms of realigning, those provisions. But I think Honorable Amolo also look at the distinction between the privatization proposal and the privatization program in terms of their contents. And then you can make proposals in terms of how to improve. This bill, you both agree, is a good bill. Honorable Benjamin Langat, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this bill. Mr. Speaker, as has been said, this is not a new bill. It has already been passed in 2023, but the courts annulled it. Mr. Speaker, the reason why it was annulled was because of lack of public participation mainly. And I want to inform the House that we have done very serious public participation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in fact, we went to 25 counties outside Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. So we have corrected the anomaly, and hopefully the bill will go through. Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to repeal Privatization Law Act of 2005, and it creates a privatization authority to replace Privatization Commission, which, Mr. Speaker, had been affected by a lot of bureaucracy, Mr. Speaker. Imagine for the last 10 years, there has not been any privatization of any company in the Republic, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, hopefully this bill will make the process smooth, will make the process faster, and will make the process safer, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill creates a privatization authority with a board. Number two, Mr. Speaker, it distinguishes the functions of different actors in the process. Privatization authority will do the implementation of the privatization process. The CS, Mr. Speaker, will initiate the process through what we call privatization program, which is basically the list of companies that have been identified for the purposes of privatization, Mr. Speaker. The bill also sets the fact that the CS would take the bill to Cabinet for approval, the program to Cabinet for approval, then it will be brought to Parliament for approval. And Parliament can approve as it is, can amend, or can reject, Mr. Speaker. If Parliament approves with amendments, then the Cabinet Secretary will have to publish a fresh list under the program. Mr. Speaker, the privatization program has been given 8 years for implementation, because again we have seen some of the privatizations which have been done before. They have taken a lot of time. So the bill provides that when we approve the program, it will take 8 years. If some of them have not been privatized, then it will be brought back to Parliament. 3, Mr. Speaker, the privatization authority will then prepare what we call privatization proposal, which then lists the values of companies, individual companies, Mr. Speaker, and all the details for privatization. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the bill.
Marianne Keitany, don't run far from your
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the bill that is before us on the privatization amendments. And first, Honorable Speaker, I would like to go to Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya, which talks about the national values and principles of governance. And in particular, it talks about the values and principles that state organs, state officers, and public officers, wherever they are, applies them. And more specifically, Honorable Speaker, I want to talk about good governance, integrity, transparency, accountability, and sustainable development. I think that part of sustainable development is very critical. And when you look at most of these institutions that are being privatized, they actually exist to do business and to make money. And if you see the role of government is to give people sustainable development, good governance, give them human dignity, you give them equity, social justice, and where a business exists to make money or to do business, then, and it is competing with the need for our government to provide services just for development, sustainable development, then you find that both of these will go in conflict. A case in point, for example, is KenGen, for example. KenGen provides a strategic resource, which is the provision of electricity in the value chain of electricity. And before it was privatized, for example, you find that a lot of government procedures, for example, procurement procedures, recruitment procedures, and all those procedures, which in essence exist because there needs to be equity when government is providing services, go and interfere with the value or the processes within which these companies or a company like that was there to do, which was to make money or to do business. And therefore, I would support the privatization arrangement where most of these strategic assets that exist for the purposes of doing business and giving services to the common mwananchi at the same time are able to thrive in an environment that is private, that is able to compete with other businesses. And I take note, especially Section 21 of the proposed bill, which talks about, without prejudice to the generalities of the subsection, it talks about identification and determination of these entities for privatization, where we take into consideration Part C of it, the strategic nature of the public entity to be privatized. I think that is very important because many of the businesses that government do are because they are strategic in nature. But however strategic in nature they are, I think we need to balance the issue of strategic nature in it and the business that it is going to provide. The case in point is the privatization of Kenya Pipeline, like we just concluded, or the one that we just talked about. And you realize that whereas Kenya Pipeline gives a strategic business, which is to transport oil or fuel that we use, that is a much needed commodity, it is a service that it is not monopolistic in nature because after the transportation, the actual marketing and selling are done by private sector. So by privatizing that particular company, you will not have created a monopolistic nature which actually gets a country to be stuck in the process, because you find that even the same oil can also be transported by road, and it is currently done even by private entities or private companies which can compete with a pipeline. So therefore, the strategic nature of the public entity to be privatized, I like that it has been put in the bill, because that is one of the considerations that the minister or the cabinet secretary will consider while looking at what items or what entities to be privatized. And I would love a situation where most of government entities, especially where they do a business, to actually get out of being regulated and managed by government, because then the business nature of it is not considered. Because many times we would love to look at what Article 10 provides vis-a-vis what the business entails, and many a times the government would prioritize what Article 10 provides in the Constitution at the expense of business. And that is the reason why you find many businesses that are government-owned and government-run, when they compete with the private sector, you find that they don't make profits, they don't succeed, whereas the private sector businesses are succeeding because they are there to make business. An example, again, I want to give is the Portland Cement, which is partly government, partly private. It is competing in the sector with other private entities, and you find those private entities reporting very huge profits as compared to the publicly or government or entities that have government stake in it, because of the procedures that they are put forth, that they are told they must procure using certain procedures, they must hire using certain procedures, at the expense of actually looking for the